Hi everybody. I want to explain to you how to do the Week 10 Response Body Paragraph Planner assignment. So there will be a link to this assignment in the Week 10 announcements. So you can click on that link and that will take you to the assignment. You can also access it by clicking Content, going down to Unit 3 Assignments, and then scroll down until you get to the Response Body Paragraph Planner. There you will see a description of the assignment and a link to the Body Paragraph Planner, and you can click on that. So this assignment should be done after you have completed the English 101 Unit 3 Thesis and Outline Planner. In that assignment, you decide your introduction, your thesis, your summary points for the article that I gave you, and you map out 2 to 4 points of agreement or disagreement with the article that I gave you. In one or more of them, using the article that you found to help you respond to those points. What we're doing in English 11 is we're taking one of those body paragraphs that you mapped out in English 101, and we're going to flesh it out here in English 11. So you're going to choose one of those body response paragraphs. And in English 101, you had either 2, 3, or 4 of them. Try to pick one that uses information from both the article and, well, the article that I gave you and the article that you found. All right, so what we're going to do is start with the claim. This would be your topic sentence for that paragraph, which you may very well have already written out in sentence form in English 101. If you didn't, you should do that now. So this should be a complete sentence. So perhaps it is surveillance is very important to prevent terrorism. So that was a point made in the article. Of course, this is a different topic. This is the sample essay. So this was a point made in the article, and it's one that you want to respond to. Then you're going to give a reason. So why did you say this? So this would be your overall reason for making that point. So the reason that surveillance is so important is because that is a key way in which the government can identify and intervene with would-be terrorists, or whatever makes sense. Note that I'm writing in complete sentences. So for this assignment, I do want you to write in complete sentences. When you're done, you'll basically have your paragraph done for that part of your 101 essay. All right, next you're going to provide evidence from the original article. This is the article that I gave you. Again, let's use a complete sentence and use your author attribution. According to the article, and of the sample I've forgotten, so I'm just going to indicate by J. Brown. So you could use the author, you could use the title. You need to distinguish so the reader knows what article you're talking about, because you are using 2 articles in this essay. And then give the information. If you paraphrase that information. So you use your own words to explain what the article said. Then you need the author's name and the year as your citation. If you mentioned the author in your wording, then you would only need the year. If you didn't, then be sure you put the author's last name, comma, and the year. If you quote information, then please make sure that you put quotation marks around the material that you copied from the article, and that in addition to the author's last name, the year, you will also put the paragraph number where that information came from. I would prefer that you paraphrase if you can, but if you feel that you can't, then you may quote that material. But you must put the quotation marks and you must put a citation that includes the paragraph number. The next part is your reactions, so your ideas. So this, again, would be coming from your planner in English 101, but you're going to write it out in complete sentences. And then, of course, you would put that information here. And there's space here for you to write multiple sentences if necessary. Step 5 is bringing in your outside source. So that is why you want to choose the paragraph that does use information from your additional source. And so here you can show where this was appropriate. You could put, your point needed even if invades privacy, and then show in your additional source what information you're going to use. And here you should use a complete sentence. So again, in the article, and then you can give perhaps the title or identify by the author, and then again give that information. Here you also need a citation, so that would be the author's last name, and let's put a different last name, and the date for a paraphrase, or if you quote, then you would also need, in addition to the author and year, the paragraph number for that information. And then finally, step 6 is the conclusion of this paragraph. So it's not your overall conclusion for the whole essay, just how you'll end this paragraph. And again, use a complete sentence to indicate that information. All right, so the main points are that you're going to try to write incomplete sentences. You're pulling from what you already did in English 101. And by the time you're done with this, you will find that you basically have one of your paragraphs done for your Unit 3 essay. Of course, when you're all done, you can go back into the assignment, click on the link at the top, and there you can upload your work. Hopefully that will help you with this week's assignment.